Okay. Thank you for giving me the platform. So, humanism is a philosophy where we look towards other humans, science, and reason to solve problems. And secular means that people are allowed to express their religious freedoms, but there's like a separation from church and state.
Okay,
would the secular law supersede the religious law?
Yes.
Why?
Because.
So you'd oppress religious people in your state?
No, I would.
Well, you just said
they would have freedoms. They would have freedoms, but they wouldn't.
No,
have,
you just said secular law would suppress the religious law.
Can I ask you a question, Hassan?
Hi, sure.
So, are you aware of the nuance with regards to the whole issues with freedom? How there are things called positive freedoms and negative freedoms, and how these can overlap and come into conflict with one another?
Of course, there's going to be conflicts of freedoms when you have, when you have laws. Yes, that's part of how you have to compromise when you run a country.
So, this whole notion that there's going to be freedom, what are you going to do when there's two belief systems within a secular society, and one conflicts with another? There's an overlap. There's a tension. One of them has to be compromised. Where's this? Right. So then it's not this blanket statement about necessarily having freedom. You've acknowledged that there are times when there's going to be a conflict.
Of course.
He's basically going to create a Republic of France. He's going to approach religion.
That's what I mean, you could, you talk about your religion, but if you imagine there was a religion out there that, married 5-year-olds, then, we'd all think that that's something wrong there. So that's when you need the secular laws to intervene.
So what would be the cutoff age?
Yeah, exactly. Would you allow halal slaughter?
I would. I know halal slaughter can be done stunned, because I know people who've done that here in the UK. I would ban all non-stunned slaughter.
So you wouldn't allow Jews in your state practicing Jews?
I wouldn't allow any unstunned slaughter. So if any,
just so I understand, your secular law will oppress religious freedom.
And there's a funny thing here.
I'm sure a couple of the rabbis that I know would be pretty upset about your secular country. But let me just ask you one question: would you have capital punishment?
I wouldn't know. If it was my choice, I would. No, I wouldn't.
So it's your choice now.
Well,
this
is more of like a Mussolini dictatorship idea.
No, because according to secular humanism, I wouldn't. So.
You made the choice of your own, meaning you didn't put it to vote, you didn't put it to out people. So basically, you'd be a dictator. You would your law.
You asked me how I would organize it, and I said I would organize it.
That's not
no. But the difference is this: we didn't organize our state based upon our own whims and desire, and our own social conditioning. We did it based upon our belief system.
But Hassan, you are now taking the place of a creator. First off, in ordaining, you're a taghut. That's what you are, and you are taking the place of a democratic society now as well, because you are basically saying you would implement laws according to what you like, not just set up society. Because I asked you about capital punishment. So now, majority of the people in the United States want capital punishment in some states, in some polls. So there, you would then come in and say, no, what you wish is. So this is exactly where you end up as a dictator, right?
What I would do is I'd still be against it, and I'd protest against it, and I would try and change the law. So that's the thing. I would work.
But you would allow the majority.
You asked me how I would organize.
Would you allow the majority rule?
Within reason, that's a democracy. Yeah.
So if the majority.
Wait, hold on. You said
within reason. That'd be okay.
Wait. You said within reason. Who would specify what's reasonable?
Yeah. There'll be case law. There'll be statute law. There'll be.
Who would establish those? You're setting up a brand new society. You've got no precedence of case law, bro. Come on, right? So would you say the majority can make up any law they like? Would you allow that type of freedom?
No, because you've asked me how I would do it. I would say it's a secular humanism. So that's how I would do it. So secular humanism
would involve the implement laws,
Declaration of Human Rights. So
who would set up those precedences? When you're setting up a brand new society, now the question comes up: should we have capital punishment or not? who would decide that?
You'd have a vote of MPs.
Okay.
So
So
that'd be one way.
MPs or direct? I mean, people. Or
So, one second. So you have a vote from MPs. Now, MPs will be representatives of the people. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So if the representatives of the people vote in favor of capital punishment, then you're happy to accept capital punishment in your new country, yeah?
I would accept it, but not be happy to accept it.
Okay.
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 Hold on.
And if the majority of the people decided we want halal non-stun slaughter, you don't have a problem with that either.
I would have a problem with it, but I would accept it.
You'd accept it.
Hassan, hold on. So if the majority of the people, your MPs, vote to have slavery, would you accept it then?
Well,
Gotcha.
if they voted it, I would.
Should I
wouldn't
drop
like
it?
it.
No,
Should I drop it?
let me answer the
Should I drop it?
Let me answer the question. Okay. I wouldn't be happy, but if it was implementing laws, I'd work all the way. I would work to
Wow.
repeal those laws.
You
That's
would
what happened when
implement
we had
slavery.
slavery. Slavery used to be
You
slavery
would
used to be
implement
legal,
slavery.
and then through the laws of this
Wow.
country and the
What if the
abolition,
majority
they got
of the
rid of
people in your
it.
country
Wow.
didn't? What if
That is
the
amazing.
majority of people in your country didn't want people with brown skin anymore? Would you move out?
I probably would, yeah.
You would set up the most oppressive, racist, slave-owning society ever.